If there's one thing I think pretty much everyone that watches my content knows about me, it's that I love folding phones. If you count Surface Duo, which was a phone that folded, I've been using them pretty much exclusively going back as far as 2020, but that does not mean that I think that they are perfect, that I think that they are without little annoyances. In this video, I'm going to go over my biggest pet peeves with folding phones. And we're going to start off in, I think, the most obvious place of all. My biggest pet peeve with folding phones is that they are, one, very expensive, right? Regularly cost over $1,500. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is probably going to be about $18.99. These things are prohibitively expensive. And while my Samsung folding phones have literally never failed on me, my Google Pixel Folds have failed multiple times. The first gen Pixel Fold, I had two of them crack, and my Pixel 9 Pro Fold lost the ability to detect a SIM card, and I eventually had to have it replaced as well. Now, luckily, I didn't really have to spend money to get these things replaced. Warranties and insurance took care of this. But regardless, that is still extremely annoying and frustrating. And I'm sure that those of you who are in the comments down below, you could probably share stories about a Z Fold breaking, about a OnePlus Open breaking, about a Pixel Fold breaking, on and on and on. They do seem to still fail, not just at least slightly higher rate. It's the way that they fail, which can be completely random almost, it seems like, and to no fault of the user. That is a real problem, and it's something that absolutely frustrates me about folding phones. Annoyance number two is with how often it seems like the speakers are in some way compromised, or they're just set up in a way that just bothers me. And I can use my Oppo Find N5 as a great example of both of these things. So in the pursuit of being radically thin, 4.2 millimeters thick, which I actually love more than I ever thought that I would. This device feels so light and so easy to handle that when I pick up other folding phones like my Pixel 9 Pro Fold, even though it is relatively thin, it's pretty close, it feels so heavy compared to this that this just ends up feeling better. In the pursuit of that thickness, they've sacrificed the speakers, I think, a little bit too much. These speakers just aren't up to snuff for a super premium device. They're not loud enough. They're not bassy enough. They just aren't enough. And that is something that we are dealing with these modern smartphones as they are pursuing that incredible thinness. But on top of that, they've done something else that is a big pet peeve for me. Samsung does the same thing. One speaker is here, and the other speaker is here. And what that means is when you open up the device, I nearly just dropped it, you have all of your audio coming out of the left-hand side. When it's in this phone mode, it's top and bottom. But when you open it, you're now off-center. And it's basically like you only have a left channel. And I know I could just rotate the device, but I don't want to rotate the device every time I listen to media in some way. Let's give props to Google here, because I think that they did this right. They put one speaker here and they put one speaker here. The result of that is, if it's in phone mode, it's top, bottom, or left, right, just the same. But when you open it, you have left and right channels. If you rotate it, you have left and right channels. That is the correct way to do it, but too often we have these folding phones go with speakers only on the left, and because they're so thin, they are just nowhere near as loud as our slab phone counterparts. My next pet peeve with folding phones is the fact that even though we do have now access to this much larger screen that can yet still fit in our pocket, too often the apps we use just don't take advantage of that larger screen real estate. While we are beginning to see some apps finally start having a tablet layout, so many of them still don't, or don't execute it, I think, in a way that makes any sense. If we fire up Gmail, you can see I sent myself an email. And if I click on this, this is all just the phone layout, but expanded. If I did this on my Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I would have a dual panel layout with my list of emails on the left and then the email I selected on the right. But I don't get this on my Oppo Find N5. I don't think that this happens on my Z Fold either. Now, I can rotate the device to get this layout, but I shouldn't need to do that. This should just be how it works. I'm on a larger screen. I should have the ability to enable, if I want it, a dual panel layout. And the same thing is true for something like Google Keep. I just pulled up a Keep note here from a while back, and same thing. On my Pixel, I have the dual panel layout. On my other folding devices, I don't. I just have the phone layout stretched out really, really big. I use this app as an example all the time. This is Wise, and I actually have it set to not use some of the width of the screen, because if I go full screen with it, truly full screen, I end up being able to see so little of this application. It's like actually worse to use it on the larger screen. You have to scroll so far to be able to see anything. This app should reflow itself, and you should be able to see like multiple cameras and all kinds of things on that screen all at once, but you can't. I should say that like Gmail, like Keep, if I'm in a camera group in Wise and then I rotate, I do get this grid view, but I shouldn't have to do that. These devices are more than wide enough when they are just opened to give us the tablet view. They are literally like twice as wide as a normal phone. They're mostly square. So rotating them really doesn't change things in any real dramatic way at all. Looking at my home screen here, the apps that I use the most often, if I'm not mistaken, I think that maybe like 2 of these applications actually do something other than just giving me the phone layout but stretched out. In the year 2025, we've had these folding phones, we've had Android tablets for quite a while. Google, why have we not been able to get tablet layouts to be more of a thing on these devices? And why are you keeping exclusive to your Pixel Fold devices some of the things that I'm talking about? When you look at the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 or the Pixel 9 Pro Fold or my Oppo Find N5, they all have something in common, and that would be kind of lackluster camera hardware. Again, like with the speakers, when you're talking about devices that have to fold over and therefore need to be pretty darn thin in order to not be a brick when they are closed, and you're dealing with the physics of things, the fact that cameras do need depth a lot of the time, instead of engineering around this or having a camera bump that sticks out really far. Remember how far the OnePlus Open camera bump stuck out, and this device got a lot thinner, and yet the bump got smaller. That's because they sacrificed on the camera hardware, and that's what a lot of these OEMs end up doing. Now, I don't think the Find N5's camera is bad. Same goes for the Pixel or for the Samsung phone. I think that all these phones take fine pictures. But when you're talking about a device that is $1,500, $1,700, $1,800, $1,900, you do want to have the best possible camera setup. And when you watch other OEMs like Vivo, maybe you could say, still packing in exceptional camera, much better camera hardware, at least minimum is what we should be saying. That is definitely a point of frustration. I can't tell you how many times I have just had the Oppo Find N in my pocket. I've needed to shoot some quick B-roll holding a phone or something. I pulled out this phone, I've shot the B-roll, I've thrown it onto my timeline, and it's grainy and it just looks bad, and I delete it. And I grab my S25 Ultra and just reshoot it again. And I think, why do I keep grabbing this phone? The same thing will be true for the original Pixel Fold. I think they improved the graininess of video on the 9 Pro Fold a little bit. But again, my point is, I shouldn't pull out a phone that's this expensive and then immediately think, this video is just not good enough, and I have to go grab a different phone that costs less money. It's a pet peeve for sure. And last, but certainly not least, my final pet peeve when it comes to the state of folding phones in 2025 is the complete abandonment of the dual screen form factor. You guys know I haven't talked about Surface Duo in quite some time. It's been a while. But I was a big enthusiast of this form factor. I'm not going to relitigate in this video why I love dual screen devices completely. I've done that so many times over the years, but it does bum me out to no end that something like this just simply isn't an option. For someone like me, who is a multitasking person, someone who loves running two apps side by side, it really never has been any better than what we had it right here, where I have one app on one side. Let's click on a link. Guess what? It opened up on the other side automatically. This didn't change. Nothing moved on that side of the screen. I can go home over here and open up another different application over there. It's like having a dual monitor PC in your pocket. It was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. And I know that many of you are still using your Surface Duo every single day. I think something has gone terribly wrong with batteries, or one of the batteries, maybe both of them in my Surface Duo 2, because when I have a SIM inserted in this thing, that battery drops at a visible rate. It is absolutely unusable at this point. But still, until this thing tries to explode, I will likely never get rid of this device. I still have the original Duo as well. They will forever hold a special place in my heart, and I wish, oh how I wish, that Microsoft had not abandoned us and had have actually produced a dual screen Surface Duo 3. Those are my top 5 pet peeves when it comes to folding phones. Please do share your pet peeves in the comments down below. For more content like this, hit that subscribe button before you go. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.